name's Caleb. I'm a drug addict.
Hey, Caleb.
I'm grateful to be here. Got a nice full room tonight. I'd like to thank the group for asking me to speak. My sobriety date's November 19th, 2022, and I'm grateful to be here. Let's talk on step 5, and step 5 for me was a very pivotal moment in my sobriety. I'm going to tell you kind of what led me up to this point, and I don't know, man. I used to, before I really jumped into this and started doing this work, I used to hear a lot of talk about the 4th and 5th step, and I'm a guy that likes to keep secrets. I'm a guy that doesn't like to talk about stuff. I'm a guy that just doesn't open up, and I hear about talking to God or another human being, and it's just not something that I'm really trying to do. And what qualifies me for this is I'm a drug addict through and through. I suffer from alcohol, whatever, man. Once I start doing anything, I can't stop, and I'm a guy that think I suffer from severe anxieties, so I'm on Xanax every day of my life for periods and periods of time, and I black out on these things, and I do all this crazy stuff. And countless times, man, I'd wake up and wherever I was at that moment, and I'd have a bunch of stuff in the pockets that's not mine, or a bunch of stuff that I'm not missing, or that I'm missing, and I'm just waking up confused, and I look at my phone, and it's just blown up by somebody that I robbed or hurt the night before, and I'm just a mess of a person. And the book kind of talks about it, man. I just stuff this stuff deep down inside, and I don't do anything about it, and it just sits there, and before I know it, man, I get loaded again because I can't deal with it. I come into a different fellowship. I got sober in Alcoholics Anonymous, and this book that we use here is the biggest reason I'm sober tonight. I applied what's in this book to my life and what was suggested to me, and it completely changed my entire life. It's cool. DAA, I can talk about drugs a little bit, but Alcoholics Anonymous is what saved my life. Coming to Alcoholics Anonymous, coming a few years ago, and I don't know, man. I was at the end of one of the worst runs I've ever been on. I was homeless. Didn't have custody of my daughter. I had burned every bridge with any person, any friend, any family member I had left. Nobody really wanted anything to do with me. And homeless, and some detectives, and as crazy as it sounds, you can hear my story another time, some detectives helped me out and got me into a sober living house where I got introduced to this book, The Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous, and what we do here. And some guy took his time with me, and he sat with me and explained to me a little bit about what I suffer from and what I'm up against, and I realized for the first time that I'm screwed, man. No matter what I do, how much I wish it off, I'm going to get loaded again no matter what. And I could get behind the first step. The second step, I came to believe that something was going on in these rooms with these people that found this sobriety, with the people that were working this program. Something was happening with these people, and if I did what they did, I could have it too. Third step, I made a decision to go through with the rest of this work. Right? I made that decision. Then I get to this 4th step, and I stalled on it. I was in this halfway house. I had this sponsor at the time, and he would come like once a week to this halfway house. And he'd be like, "Did you do that 4th step yet?" I'm like, nah. Maybe sometimes I'd lie to him. I'd be like, I'm starting again. I'm not finished yet. And he came one day, knocked on the door like he does all the time. And he's like, "Look, man, did you do that 4th step? Are you finished with it?" And I was like, "Nah, man, I'm working on it." He's like, "I'm not going to keep coming here. I got other people I can help. You're preventing other people from getting help that they need. If you don't want to do this stuff, just go get loaded, man." Like, point blank, period. It's like, if you're not going to do this 4th step, I got nothing for you, man. And the book tells us, like, next we launch. I don't recommend that to anybody. Next you launch. You immediately get to this, but I didn't, man, and I stalled on it. And he's like, "You got 1 week to do this 4th step. I'll be back next week, and we'll do this." I did it, man. I run by fear. Thought, man, my sponsor's going to abandon me. It's going to be everybody's going to leave me again, man. I was just full of self-pity, so I do this 4th step. Fear was preventing me from doing it. Fear propelled me to do it because I didn't want to talk about this stuff. I didn't want to list my resentment. I didn't really want to do it, man. But I ended up doing it. I get it all out, and I have all these resentments. I have my fears. I have the sexual misconduct all on paper, and I wish that'd be enough for me, but it wasn't, man. And this book talks about it. I'm going to read. Hey, guys. On page 72, Into Action, Chapter 6. Having made our personal inventory, what shall we do about it? We have been trying to get a new attitude, a new relationship with our Creator, and to discover the obstacles in our path. We have admitted certain defects. We have ascertained in a rough way what the trouble is. We have put our finger on the weak items in our personal inventory. Now these are about to be cast out. This requires action on our part, which when completed will mean that we have admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our defects. This brings us to the fifth step in the program of recovery, mentioned in the preceding chapter. This is perhaps difficult, especially discussing our defects with another person. We think we have done well enough in admitting these things to ourselves. There is doubt about that. In actual practice, we usually find a solitary self-appraisal insufficient. Many of us thought it necessary to go much further. We would be more reconciled to discussing ourselves with another person when we see good reasons why we should do so. The best reason first: if we skip this vital step, we may not overcome drinking. Now remember, I had this 4-step all written out. And in the back of my mind, I knew he was coming. I knew the day. I knew the time. We had it all scheduled out, man. And I was thinking in my head, I'm going to give this guy like 10, maybe 20 minutes, and this thing's going to be done. It's over with. I'm going to just talk about this stuff, and that's all we're going to do. In my mind, I'm thinking I'm just going to read what's on this paper. 10 minutes, I'm in and out. That wasn't the case. We sat for a couple hours. And he started explaining it to me, man, and that the book says it perfectly. If we skip this vital step, we may not overcome drinking. Time after time, newcomers have tried to keep to themselves certain facts about their lives. Trying to avoid this humbling experience, they have turned to easier methods. Almost invariably, they got drunk. They got loaded. Having persevered with the rest of the program, they wondered why they fell. We think the reason is they never completed their house cleaning. They took inventory all right, but hung on to some of the worst items in stock. They only thought they had lost their egoism and fear. They only thought they had humbled themselves. They had not learned enough of humility, fearlessness, and honesty, in the sense we find it necessary, until they told someone else all their life story. And like I said, I come into this thing with a lot of secrets, some weird ones, some shady ones, just stuff that I'm taking to the grave with me. I'm not going to tell anybody about this stuff. And I write out this list to satisfy this sponsor. I got these resentments on paper, and I'm reading through these, and we talk about it, and he flips it on me. He tells me my part, or asks me what my part is. And I can start to see like a pattern in my life when I'm doing this. I can see my behaviors are just all over the board, and they result back to the same thing every single time. It's just me. I'm selfish as can be. I'm hurting everybody around me. My actions are only for me, and the result of doing this, it hurts everybody else. More than most people, the alcoholic leads a double life. He is very much the actor. To the outer world, he presents his stage character. This is the one he likes his fellows to see. He wants to enjoy a certain reputation, but knows in his heart he doesn't deserve it. That was a big one for me when I first read that, man, because I'm in the midst of getting loaded. I'm bad off, man, and I got my daughter full time, and I'm taking her places she shouldn't be. We're going trap houses. I'm taking her on runs with me. I'm doing all this stuff, man. If you look at that from that perspective, my life is complete chaos. And then I got this one. I got Facebook. I got social media, and on social media, I look like the best person in the world. This single father that's doing so good, man. But I'm behind closed doors. I'm just yelling at this kid. I'm doing all this stuff. I'm just, like I said, bringing her to places she should not be. I'm manipulating all my friends. I'm robbing all them, and they're passing out, and I'm just going behind their back and taking whatever, man. I'm just doing a lot of scumbag stuff. The inconsistency is made worse by the things he does on his sprees. Coming to his senses, he is revolted at certain episodes he vaguely remembers. Like I mentioned before, them foggy Xanax nights when I wake up and I don't really know what happened the night before, but I know something happened. I got that phone just blown up by people that saying I did all this stuff, and I don't even remember doing it, man. But I know from past experience, every time I get loaded like this, something like this happens. These memories are a nightmare. He trembles to think someone might have observed him. As fast as he can, he pushes these memories far inside himself. He hopes they will never see the light of day. He is under constant fear and tension that makes for more drinking. And that just clicks with me. That sums up my life. That sums up in the midst of getting loaded. That's exactly what I think. Every time I wake up, I know this stuff that I just did was bad. It's going to hurt a bunch of people, and I don't want to think about it, so it just makes for more using. I just get loaded all over again. Psychologists are inclined to agree with us. We have spent thousands of dollars for examinations. We know but few instances where we have given these doctors a fail break. We have seldom told them the whole truth, nor have we followed their advice. Unwilling to be honest with these sympathetic men, we were honest with no one else. Small wonder many in the medical profession have a low opinion of alcoholics and their chance for recovery. We must be entirely honest with somebody if we expect to live long or happily in this world. before I got sober, I was never honest a day in my life. Maybe like here and there. I'm not a therapy guy. I'm not a treatment guy. I've never had like a sit down with a therapist or something. I've never had the opportunity to be honest with them, but if I did, I would have never been honest with them, man. I'm a guy that just keeps everything to myself. I try to work it out myself. I try to figure it out. I'm not going to tell anybody about it because they're going to judge me. I'm just I got it myself type of deal. So I get with this guy, and the only thing me and this guy had in common was we got loaded the same exact way. He did the same exact stuff that I did when he got loaded. He wanted to stop, he couldn't, and I could relate to that. Me and him, two totally different people in the sense of anything else. And this guy was like selflessly taking his time with me. He was going through this work for me, or with me, and he came week after week after week, and this week he came, and I had explained this whole 4-step to him. And it says, when we decide who it is to hear our story, this was the guy that was going to get this 15 minutes, right? I'm going to read him this inventory. That's all he's going to get, and we're moving on. We waste no time. We have a written inventory. We're prepared for a long talk. We explain to our partner what we are about to do and why we have to do it. He should realize that we are engaged upon a life and death errand. At that point, to be honest, I don't think I realized I was on a life and death errand, but this guy did. He knew exactly what he was doing, exactly what we were doing in that halfway house. And I see today, and I know today, that I'm honored by his confidence. I didn't have it then and there. I was just going through the motions, and he started this thing off, man. And if he didn't do this, I don't think I would have went through it with the way it was. He started this thing out by telling me his fifth step. He started this thing out by telling me this crazy stuff that he did, the stuff that he was taking to the grave with him, the exact same stuff that I did. And it opened this window of like a little bit of comfortability, and I was able to ease. I was able to get in the groove of this thing, man, and I was able to understand that really what we were driving at. And he read this to me, right? We pocket our pride and we go to illuminating every twist of character, every dark cranny of the past. And I read that list to him, and I thought that was going to be it. And he looks at me and he starts this deal, and he's like, well, what else do you got that's not on that paper? And at first I was like, nothing, man. I mean, that's all we got. I got what's on this paper. What's good, man? I don't know, dude. I got something to do. I don't know what it is, but can we go now? And he's like, nah, man. And I don't know why he was so persistent, but thank God that he was, man. He's like, I know you got something else. And that's when he started his deal. That's when he started talking about all the stuff that he did. And I don't know what clicked in me. I don't know what it was. But I opened up. For the first time in my life, I opened up to another man. For the first time in my life, I started saying words of things that I've done that I was going to take to the grave with me, things that I kept a secret, things that are just... I got some weird things on my fifth step. I got some really shady things on my fifth step. I got some stuff that... I don't know, dude. I hear it all the time, so it's kind of normal now. Everybody robs all their family and friends. Like, I get that. But I had these things on my fifth step that were terrifying, man. And only in the sense, not like because of me, but if somebody found out that I did these things, right? To the people that I did them to, the terrifying for them, man. But if somebody found out that I did these things, you guys are going to think different of me. You guys aren't going to... My reputation's going to be gone. I don't really have much of a reputation, but the way you guys feel and think about me means more than anything else in this world. And I don't even got to like you, right? I don't have to care for you at all, but if you think about me in a certain type of way, it's going to mess my whole day up. I'm going to think about it for weeks. And it's just going to eat me up. And when I got a brain on me, when that's going on, when I'm just letting something get to me, I'm going to get loaded. I need relief, and that's exactly what happens. So this guy starts his fifth step off. He starts telling me all these things, and I open up, and I get all these things out. And I thought I had one. I had one that I wasn't going to say. And he's like, oh, I got one more thing. And if this isn't something divine, if this isn't God, if this isn't something that I did not come here for, he said something. He's like, I got one more thing I need to tell you. He's like, this is something I wanted to hold in, but my sponsor got out of me, and I wanted to, and it's the same exact thing that I was holding in a different way, in a different type of whatever, but the sense of it was the exact same thing. And I was like, dude, I got one more thing. And I got one more thing. And I told him. So now I'm at a point where an hour ago, I had all these things holding in. I had all these secrets. I had all these things that were just eating me alive that I didn't even realize it. come to the surface. They were out. They were with like it says, I admitted to God, to myself, to another human being. Solitary self-appraisal insufficient. I had things in my head that I think about all the time. I know what I did wrong. I know these things are bad. I know these things are eating me alive, but I'm not letting it out. I'm not talking to somebody else. First time in my life, another grown man knew everything about me. I was honest with somebody through and through. For the first time in my life, somebody was I was on the same page as everyone else. I was honest with this guy, he was honest with me, and I'm able to move forward with that. He asked me a couple more times, make sure I didn't have anything else, right? And then he read the rest of this paragraph with me. And he said, once we have taken this step withholding nothing, we are delighted. We can look the world in the eye. We can be alone at perfect peace and ease. Our fears fall from us. We begin to feel the nearness of our Creator. We may have had certain spiritual beliefs, but now we begin to have a spiritual experience. The feeling that the drug problem has disappeared will often come strongly. We feel we are on the broad highway, walking hand in hand with the spirit of the universe. And he was all fired up when he left, and right before he closed the door to the halfway house, he just looked back and he said, "You're on the broad highway, my friend," and closed the door. What does that even mean, right? But he explained to me before he left that what I got to do next, right? And returning home, we find a place where we can be quiet for an hour. Carefully reviewing what we have done, we thank God from the bottom of our heart that we know him better. Taking this book down from our shelf, we turn to the page which contains the 12 steps. Carefully reading the first 5 proposals, we ask if we have omitted anything, for we are building an arch to which we should walk a free man. At last, is our work solid so far? Are the stones properly in place? Have we skimped on the cement put into the foundation? Have we tried to make mortar without sand? And he told me about this hour. I thought that was going to be pretty difficult. I can't really sit still for an hour. He's like, man, just give it a shot. Really try to sit down. Go to page 59, read these 12 steps, the first 5 steps, and ask yourself if there's anything that you left out. And I did it, man. I didn't sit still, but I ended up taking a shower. But the whole time, right, I'm thinking about it, and I'm really putting thought into this. And I set an alarm, and that alarm goes off. And I don't know how to explain it, man. If you've had an experience like this, you might get it. But for the first time in my life, I was okay with being me. For the first time in my life, I felt that peace. I felt some type of, and I know today, I didn't know it then, but I know it today, and the book tells us we feel the nearness of our Creator. I felt the presence of God for the first time in my life. Up until this point, I was just going through the motions. I was just doing what was told. I really didn't even want to do this 4-step, but I did it, man, and I'm just going through these motions. For the first time in my life, I'm connected to something, and I know today that that's this higher power that we talk about. I felt okay with being me. I felt I belonged and earned a seat in Alcoholics Anonymous. I felt okay with being me, and it was just an overwhelming feeling. At this point in time, I'm still on bond for a bunch of charges. I'm living in a halfway house. I don't got to drive. I got a mess of a life around me, but I had this overwhelming feeling that everything was going to be okay. I had this overwhelming feeling that whatever's going on, it's going to be okay. And I know that today I grew and bonded with a power that was greater than me. From that moment forward, I can't tell you the day. I could tell you it's probably right then and there. The obsession to drink, the obsession to drug was removed. It's been completely removed from me. I remember the hour was up. And at this point in my sobriety, I was like 2 or 3 months sober or something. I was going to the A club like 2 times a day, and I could not wait to get there. I think I either rode a bike or I ran as fast as I could to this A club because it was almost a 5:30 meeting. I was I was just lit up about alcohol. I was lit up about these 12 steps. I was lit up about what we were doing here. And it's a direct result of just being honest with somebody. This step really catapulted my sobriety. It really made me eager to do the rest of this stuff. And you fast forward a couple years to where I'm at today. That 5th step, the stuff that I didn't want to talk about with this guy, that he opened up and talked about with me, and I got it all out, and it gave me this experience that it's hard to explain, man. If you felt something like that, you get it. What that's done for me is I'm able to help other people. I'm able to talk about this stuff freely with my guys that I sponsor today. I'm able to start their 5th stuff up with the same weird, crazy stuff that I didn't want to tell anybody, and I get to see them get sober. I get to see them help other people. I get to see them open up and be honest with somebody else. I don't know, man. I was absolutely terrified of this. I really didn't want to do it. As a direct result of doing this, my life is something that I did not imagine today. And I can walk around the town that I got loaded in. I can keep my head straight. I don't got to look over my shoulder anymore. I can I can grow my connection with this power that I felt as a direct result of this step. It's something that if we skip this vital step, we may not overcome drinking. I got a couple guys that they skimped out on this step, man, and they went out and they got loaded. They came back, and I got one here tonight, man, and he just really leaned into this thing, and he told me everything, and it's so cool to see him just get lit up. The same way that my sponsor probably felt about me at that point in time. I get to see this guy get honest, get open, get all this stuff out that he was taking to the grave, and I get to see him flourish in sobriety. I get to see him be a good dad. I get to see all this good stuff as a direct result of just admitting to God, to himself, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. I get to see my patterns. I get to see how I'm just a shady scumbag type of person, and I get to work on that instead of just burying it deep down inside and letting these same things happen again and again. I finished up this 5th step with I went right through 6 and 7, and after that hour I did this 7-step prayer, and I really got to see my behaviors, my defects. I got to see all that for the first time in like real light, man, without just like kind of roughly looking at them, man. I got to see how they were glaring. I got to see that I got a lot of work to do, man, and it's a great thing. That's what I got on the 5th step. Thank you.
Thanks, Caleb.